If you wouldn't follow yourself, why should anyone else? The first person you should lead is yourself. Don't wait until the pressure's on to make a character choice. If you become the leader you ought to be on the inside, you will become the leader you want to be on the outside. Quality number 18, self-discipline. In other words, self-disciplined people realize the first person they lead is themselves. That's just the way it works. Plato said it best. The first and best victory is to conquer self. Now, when I talk about self-discipline, I can again think back. My brother and I often laugh about this because as a kid growing up, my brother's 2 years and 3 months older than me. My brother was very self-disciplined. My brother worked very hard. And I was very worthless. I mean, I just really was. All I wanted to do was play ball and have friends. And so my brother, I mean, from the youngest age, I mean, he was working, working for his allowances, and he got side jobs, and had, and then he'd go to school and then he'd work after school. By the time he was 16, he bought himself a 1957 Ford Fairlane car, and I mean, he bought the car. By the time I was 16, I didn't have any money. I just played. In fact, my brother and I look at each other. We laugh all the time. He said, John, if people would have seen you as a kid, you would give every parent hope for their children. I mean, I just had friends. I just had a lot of friends. I mean, I had friends. We'd have 15, 20 kids at my house all the time. I just had friends. I just wanted to have a good time, have a party, and play ball. Love play ball. But I was worthless in work. I mean, in fact, when I didn't have a car when I was in college. I went to college in town where we lived, and I used my dad's car. I mean, life was wonderful for me. I used my dad's car, stay in my parents' home. You know what I'm saying? It was just wonderful. And when I'm getting ready to graduate from college, my dad says, son, you need a car. I said, well, okay. And so I went down and I bought a Ford Falcon. It was $500. And I didn't have any money. So I borrowed my $50 down payment from my younger sister. She also worked. I was the worthless one. We laugh a lot about that because until I went to college and got a passion for what I was really going to do, I mean, I just enjoyed my life. I didn't have a lot. So when I talk about self-discipline, I just want you to always understand that I wasn't always self-disciplined. But what I had discovered was that if you look at a self-disciplined person, if you really want to be self-disciplined, there are some action points that you can take. And the first action point really goes back to the story I just told you. Discover your passion. Because here's what I have found. We are most disciplined in the areas of our passion. The day I went to college and realized now I was going to be studying and preparing for something that was a calling in my life. My whole life changed. I mean, I can tell you right now, I started studying. I committed myself to being the very best that I possibly could. I really got down to business. Now, when did I all of a sudden make the big decision? I made the big decision when all of a sudden I could match my passion with what I was doing. That all of a sudden allowed me to begin to live what I call a self-disciplined life. And so when people are saying, I'm having an area of being disciplined in a certain area, that one of the first questions I ask is, how passionate are you about it? And I want to tell you a fact. When you're not passionate about something, it's very hard to become disciplined in it. Number 2, develop your character. John Foster said, a man without decision of character can never be said to belong to himself. He belongs to whatever can make captive of him. There's a difference between whiners and winners. Whiners want to feel good before they do something. Isn't that true? Well, I just don't feel like it yet. Winners, they do something before they feel good. Whiners live by their emotions. Winners live by their responsibilities. You see, whiners, they want to play now and pay later. Winners say, no, I have to pay now to play later. Whiners practice negative habits, and winners practice positive habits. In fact, in my book, Thinking for a Change, I talk about a self-disciplined life and what the value of habits, of becoming a person of habit in the area of discipline. And here's what I put in there. This is just, I think, it always affects me when I read this. I am your constant companion. I am your greatest helper or heaviest burden. I will push you onward or drag you down to failure. I am completely at your command. Half of the things that you do, you might just as well turn them over to me, and I will be able to do them quickly and correctly. I am easily managed. You must merely be firm with me. Show me exactly how you want something done, and after a few lessons, I will do it automatically. I am the servant of all great men, and alas, of all failures as well. Those who are great, I have made great, and those who are failures, I have made failures. I am not a machine, though I work with the precision of a machine plus the intelligence of a man. You may run me for profit or you can run me for ruin. It makes no difference to me. Take me, train me, be firm with me, and I will place the world at your feet. Be easy with me, and I will destroy you. Who am I? I am habit. If you want to be self-disciplined, discover your passion, develop your character. Number 3, determine your priorities. Determine what your priorities are and begin to follow them on a continual basis. Number 4, challenge your excuses. The best way I can explain excuses is excuses are exits off of the freeway of life. Every time you're making progress and then you begin to excuse yourself for something you are doing or for something you haven't done, the moment you begin to excuse yourself, I promise you, you're just exiting off of the freeway of life. And don't we know people that make excuses? You know, if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas, huh? Isn't that true? I brought these along with me. These are explanations for automobile accidents. These are taken really, from insurance companies. As I reached an intersection, a hedge sprang up, obscuring my vision. An invisible car came out of nowhere, struck my car, and vanished. The telephone pole was approaching fast. I attempted to swerve out of its way, and when it struck my front end, those moving telephone poles will do it every time. The indirect cause of this accident was a little guy in a small car with a big mouth. I was on my way to the doctor's with rear end trouble when my universal joint gave way, causing me to have an accident. To avoid hitting the bumper of the car in front, I struck the pedestrian. I was coming home, pulled into the wrong driveway, and hit a tree I do not have. The pedestrian had no idea which direction to run, so I ran over him. Yeah. Got him! So challenge your excuses. Number 5, we're talking about how to develop self-discipline. Delay your rewards until you succeed. Mike Delaney wisely remarked, any business or industry that pays equal rewards to its goof-offs and its eager beavers, sooner or later will find itself with more goof-offs than eager beavers. And finally, get started now. Just get started now. A nursery in Canada displays this sign on its wall. The best time to plant a tree is 25 years ago. The second best time is today. Start today and plant the tree of self-discipline in your life.